This is sample 7, the dart, and for your sample fabric, you'll have a piece of fabric cut 10 inches crosswise, 7 inches lengthwise, and you're going to get the page in your syllabus that has the dart on it. Looks like this. One edge of it has this funky little shape to it, and that says lengthwise grain going right here. So just push this, put this down somewhere on your paper, and you're going to transfer this information onto the piece of fabric. So I think what I'll do, just give myself a couple of pins to secure this while I'm doing this particular thing. Okay, to transfer dart markings, you have a lot of options that we've talked about in class. You can use these large circles and put tailor tacks in. That's a really nice one if the fabric, you don't want to actually write on it, or it doesn't lend itself to seeing any writing that you might have put on it anyway. And tailor tacks are cool because they always just pull right out. If your fabric can handle it, you can use tracing paper. If you have one of the sewing kits that came from the bookstore, wherever, when you started this class, you have 3 pieces. You have a blue, a yellow, and a white. If you're going to use tracing paper, you always use the lightest color that will still show up on your project. So if I'm doing this with pink, I would have picked the white one. But I just grabbed these, and so I'm going to start with yellow and see if that works. Tracing paper has a waxy, the colored side, and then the back side. You want to transfer the mark always, always, always to the wrong side of your fabric. Don't ever put tracing paper on the fashion side. It doesn't always wash out really clean, and if that happened, you wouldn't want that on your right side of your fabric. So I'm just going to use the tracing wheel. It came with your kit also. It's a little wheel that has like a little pizza cutter, but it's a saw blade, little serrated edges on there. So you use just push really hard. Make sure you're on a hard surface. If you're doing this in the lab, in the classroom, make sure you're not on the cork on your cabinets, and give yourself the lines. These are the dart legs, and it's helpful to do the fold line. If it doesn't match up exactly where your fold line is, hopefully it will, but if it doesn't, just make sure your dart legs are good. And then out here on the edge, on the point, sometimes I'll, depending on the fabric, but for your sample one, give myself a little line back and forth to make sure I have the end of the dart. So I don't know how good you can see this. How is that on the camera? See these tiny little yellow dot to dot to dots? So I say you want to use the lightest color that you can even still see. Possibly for your benefit, I'm going to redo them, and let me do them in this dark blue, just so they show up really good. But remember that you typically wouldn't use a dark color on a very light fabric. Okay, and then give myself the end right there. So there, that's a little bit better, so you can see those dotted lines right there. All right, now this edge out here with the arrows, this is my new cut line. So I'm gonna put another pin just right there so it doesn't go away from me. So there's my sample. Use that as the cut line for the left edge. Okay, and get rid of my pattern now. And I'm going to press this along the fold line, which is that middle line. And you only press to, but not past the dart tip. So I'm going to give it a press along that fold line. As long as I use the marker with that paper is actually kind of a waxy coating. So one of the dangers of it is touching it with that hot iron, it melts the wax and it goes right into the fabric. So you might want to test and make sure if it using it on a fashion fabric. But for this sample, you're welcome to use it. So I press this just to, that's why I put that line right there so I know where to stop pressing it. Then these two lines, hopefully in real life, have actually matched up. I'm just going to poke through there, and look, I'm poking right through the other side, so life is good with this one. So now I can take it over to the iron, or to my sewing machine. At the sewing machine, put this in so that the wide end of the dart is where you start, and you will be coming to the tip or tapering off to sew actually off the fabric. And it's okay to back stitch at the beginning of a dart, but you never ever back stitch at the first. And hang on to these threads so they don't go anywhere. Take a few stitches, back stitch, and I'm just watching my guide here. I'm following my dotted line. I'm going to sew all the way to the tip. This is regulation stitch length. Haven't changed anything there. Then as I start getting close to the end of my dart, I want to come out right at the dart tip, but I want to take those last 2 or 3 stitches. I don't know if the camera can get down underneath there. See, I'm just barely on that edge right there. And I want the last 2, 3 stitches just right on that edge. All right. Then when I get all the way, it should be a straight line. Don't get part way and go, oh no, there's the end, and turn the corner really fast or try to curve into it or away from it because you got there too fast. It should be a nice straight line all the way over to it. And make sure that you leave nice long threads. Don't cut it at the edge of the dart. Got to leave yourself enough thread. We have to tie knots. So I'm going to cut that off, leave some thread tails. Let's go over and press it. Okay. Back at my iron, I'm just going to separate these threads, make sure that they're not crossing over each other badly. So the 2 threads that came off the very tip of my dart, I'm going to tie into a beautiful square knot. Maybe. If that one comes through. Let me the other way. Okay, so a good square knot, and leave like a 1/2 inch at the edge and get rid of the thread tails. Now, if the pattern was designed correctly to sew this or to press it down, you're first going to press it as it was sewn. So again, don't go past the tip because you don't want anything flat back here, as you'll be spending the rest of the time of construction trying to press that crease back out again. So press it like it was sewn. That embeds the stitches down in there. And then as this opens up, it's going to either get pressed down if it was a horizontal dart, or towards the center if it's a vertical dart. And the way you know you've done it right is by pushing that over. If it's the wrong way, it will hang out like that and say, well, that wasn't the way it was supposed to get pressed. So if I press it that way and follow the dart, notice how it all lines back up with the cut edge of the fabric. So I know this one has to go this way. So I can press that down, and because I'm trying to add shape, which way did I press it? This way. I'm going to find a similar shape on my pressing ham, because I want to press the curve into it. So there's my ham. Just spend a minute getting that fabric into a nice curvy shape. If it cools on the ham, it will hold that shape a lot better. And that is a dart. So the edge is back to its straight and a nice round curve. Don't have a pucker out here at the edge. Got a little bit of a crease right there. Okay, so that's how you do the dart. Sample 7.